Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist, with your numerology forecast for the 8th personal year for October 2023. So before we get off and running, I want to make sure that you know what your personal year is. So if you're new to numerology, or if this you don't even know what you stumbled onto here. So if you don't know what your personal year number is, for 2023, I ask you to please take one moment, go to FeliciaBender.com, click on monthly forecast. There is a calculator there that will calculate your personal year number. Also, in the description box below, there's a very simple manual calculation. The reason I bring this up is because these forecasts are based on the personal year number, not on the life path number. So those are two entirely different things in numerology, and we just want to make sure you're at the right place at the right time, listening to the correct forecast. So with that said, though, we are off and running. We are looking at the 8th personal year. It is October, and it is a number 9 personal month for you. So what does this mean for you in the midst of this 8th personal year? So this is a month to release, to surrender, and to let go of anything that needs to make an exit from your life. So you have these 4 weeks. It's kind of like your point of destination on your GPS. As you go through your 8th personal year, you are at the release point. You are at an off ramp, right? You are at an exit point, or certain things in your life are begging to make that exit or dissolve or transmute in some way. And what I will ask you to do is to, I don't know, just close your eyes for a second and think back to January of this year. All right. I know that seems like a whole other world. Whole other lifetime, right at the beginning of the year. But if you can remember, what was going on? What was unfolding for you in January of this year of 2023? Because the energy of the month of October is the same for you right now as it was then. It is you get 2 of these 8 months, these power months, or 8 months that are part of your 8th personal year. I'm trying not to confuse this, but your month that you get twice is this transitional, transformative, and humanitarian focus number 8. So I find that when we do repeat a cycle within a cycle, meaning that you're revisiting this 9 energy once again during this cycle of time, this 1-year cycle, it's really interesting and beneficial to look back, see if there is anything that's similar, any instances, any occurrences that are allowing you right now to up level your experience as you walk through it again. So it's a time where you can really elevate and integrate more deeply these lessons and opportunities presented to you at this time by the number 9. All right. So what I would just say overall is, wow, this has been some kind of year, right? With your 8, you're still standing. Just saying, right? Okay. Just say yes. Say yes, you are. Because the 8th personal year, it really ignites a 3-year transition cycle for you. You are in the final throes of this. You've got October, November, December to really bask in the glow and in the empowerment, in all of this forward momentum that you have at your ready, at your access with this 8th personal year. So remember, it's a power year that is marking this 3-year transition point, and the pressure's been intense from the get-go. October is your time, once again, for endings and for some completions. So you'll be letting go, finishing, kind of letting the universe do a little scrub, right? Take the reins, do a little scrub, decide what gets, tossed in the compost, all of those things right now. And you will be, given it's your 8th personal year, you will have active involvement with that in some way. So you'll find closure perhaps on October 9th or the 27th, yet October 18th really does stand out as a day for the release of something that is somewhat long-standing, that's been in your life and open, and it's going to allow yourself to open to other possibilities or another possibility. Okay. So this is the time where several of your ventures begin to show significant signs of closure, maybe wrapping up, or it can mark the start of a final transition or reconfiguration. All right. So don't let the 9 scare you. I think the 9 gets a really bad rap. Okay. So the 9 is, in this instance, for you, it could simply be that a contract is over and it's a natural, progression of what's been going on. Maybe you got another job and you're moving, across the country in October. Maybe your divorce is going to be final. Maybe. Who knows what this completion will be or can be, but it's never horrible. It rarely is comfortable, right? It's never, like rah rah. This feels great. I have so much clarity, right? No, it doesn't. You're not going to have the clarity. And yet clearing it out is what then is going to allow clarity to come in and allow what's meant to come in and be for you to come in and be. Otherwise, there's no room. Have you ever tried to shove something in a closet or a drawer and there's just no room? Well, that can be what it's like. So you got to take some stuff out, and this is the month to take some stuff out. So this can be work related. It can come about with a relationship, some other area in your life. It can also be about shedding of an old personal identity that no longer fits you anymore, no longer is valid anymore. Again, in an 8 personal year, it is about money, it is about finance, it is about personal power. But I will always say at the end of the day, the eight personal year is also really, really asking you the question and wanting eye contact with you to answer it, to say, what will you do for money and what won't you do? What are your values? Where's your integrity? Where are your ethics? All of those things are really up in your grill during an 8 personal year. And this could be a month where some of that kind of hits the, hits the ground in whatever way. I don't know what metaphor I want to use, but you know what I mean. I think you do anyway. So just really, I want you to not dread this. It's a very fabulous opening. It does not mean death and destruction and trauma, right? It can indicate a letting go of some aspect of yourself or something in your life that simply needs to change forms. So maybe you've been putting, all this time, all this energy, let's use an example, like into a product, right? And you just need to let go of a certain construct around what it is and how it should be rolling out, right? Maybe you've been hitting a wall on this product or this service or something, right? In that way. And instead you need to be open to it reformulating, reconfiguring in some kind of positive way, but it scares the living daylights out of each of us because it's like, no, we're supposed to launch here and this is supposed to be happening, exactly as I said it was. Well, maybe not. Maybe something needs to leave so that something else can come and roll in and be the thing that's actually supposed to be happening, right? So the same with relationships, letting go of certain outworn patterns of engagement can make their way into your world in October. So this year has offered you experiences that can shift your perceptions and your sense of yourself to your very core. I mean, you're building on all of that self-excavation that you did in your 7 personal year. Now you're putting that financial focus, the empowerment on top of that, right? And the emphasis is often financial, career-driven during that 8 personal year. Yet that's always attached also to how we view ourselves, right? What we consider our value is. what is our worth, and how we're able to feel a healthy sense of power and control in our lives. So while the energy of the 8, which is your personal year number, I keep going at that, but some people get confused, so I just want to be real clear. All right. This is often seen as the money number. You've been in it all year long, right? I'm sure some of you are scoffing right about now. It's much more than that, though. And for those of you who maybe have been struggling, maybe just wrestling that alligator, and it depends on where we are and who we are in this personal year that we are finding ourselves in. Because let's face it, your 8 personal year when you're in your 20s or your 30s is going to be more than likely fairly different than the one in your 50s or in your 70s. So it's going to take on a different flavor, a different point of intensity. And so just keep that in mind as well. It's about power empowerment. It's about money. And it's kind of like boot camp that you've been involved in all year long. So October itself is the month to begin looking at these various things that you've got going on, and really contemplating what you might want to phase out in the months to come in anticipation of your upcoming year, which will be at the end, which will be the end of a 9-year cycle for you. So 2024, you're moving into a nine personal year. And so, think about it. This month is a 9. January was a 9. So, kind of feel into how that felt to you and how you might begin to kind of get a little bit cozy with that idea of being in that 9 energy all year long next year. So your focus, your effort has attracted and hopefully helped you really manifest some pretty major successes this year. I hope so. Take the time to let that satisfaction come sink in, that feeling, because sometimes I find we don't take time to celebrate, to congratulate, to do all of those things. We just make this major achievement and then we're on to the next thing. So in an 8 personal year, it's really asking you to step back and take some time for appreciation there. Think about what you've accomplished and how far you have come, really. So rather than hustle through it all, onto that next thing, take a moment to celebrate your accomplishments, about all that you really have achieved. You can even, as corny as it sounds, write yourself a thank you note for coming to the table, right? Ready to rumble, to expand your horizons, and to do the hard stuff, right? To do the hard work. So the energy related to the number 9, which is the vibe for the 4 weeks here of October for you, this is a humanitarian one, a compassionate one, a spiritual one. It's about universal wisdom. It's going to call on you to be more empathetic, compassionate, understanding in your dealings with friends and colleagues. It's going to bring some situations that will allow you to forgive yourself, to forgive others. It's a really good time to step back and do that. Oh, yes, that, right? It's like, do we have to? And yes, it really is a powerful tool, and especially it's supported with the energy of the 9 this month. So know that there's also a possibility that lovers, maybe close personal friends, business associates, they may be eventually moving on or going somewhere else, or again, reconfiguring the dynamics here. And this could be either by your choice or by their own volition. So sometimes it's just the natural course of how relationships ebb and flow. So it's really like a retrograde period of your year. It's a moment to stop and review all the rewords in a retrograde time, right? And a 9, and during a 9 energetic phase. So rather than, for instance, not forgiving yourself for some infraction in the past, perhaps this is a place where you can see it as the required experience for the balancing and growth of your soul and of, this lifetime that you checked in for, right? So wouldn't that be a relief? if you could go, oh, wow, maybe this is part of the program, right? This is part of the experience that I have, that I signed up for, that is meant for me to walk through and to go through and to experience. So take time to be with those with whom you feel the closest this month, with whom you feel the most seen, the most heard and appreciated. I saw this great saying the other day that it basically said this. It said, question, what's more important, the journey or the destination? And the answer, the people you take with you. And so by now, I would kind of bet money that you're feeling fatigued, maybe low energy, low on fuel. It's really a good month to realize that you are going to feel better and have more productivity when you only place a very light expectation on what you would like to see happen, and leave a lot of space for the unexpected in October, right? Just kind of let the reins down, and allow yourself to flow with the momentum that you've already put into place. You've already done the work. Now you get to go. It's kind of like, any of you are bikers, riding bikes, and I'm not I'm not a biker, just so you know. I love riding a bike, but not that way. All right. So, but I know people who love the bike ride. And my point is, it's like you're, what is it called? You have the leader. It's horrible. Now I'm not going to remember the names of these things, but you've got the leader, right? And then everyone behind the leader. And when you're in the back, you get the benefit of the draft, right? Of the momentum of the other people who are pedaling, and they're working harder, and you're getting all the benefit. Well, you've been the one working really hard this year, so now benefit from just taking the going behind there and just going with that flow. So I would also say that that there's an observation here from the author of The Alchemist, Mr. Palot. He says, I think it's important to realize you can miss something, but not want it back. So these could really be your watchwords for the month. I missed something, I love it, and yet I don't want it back. I don't need it. I don't want it anymore. It's not for me. So just know that this is like a commencement process for you in October. You're graduating into the next and vital part of your life. It might feel somewhat confusing. It could be a little bit bittersweet, and yet it's time to release that, walk through it, and you'll get to the point where you're moving forward with much more clarity of direction and much more authentic direction for you. All right, so that is your forecast for the 8 personal year for October 2023. So if you are numerology curious, I would say to you that you can go to FeliciaBender.com, and it is a portal for all things numerology, from individual sessions to full charts to classes. Bunch of free stuff, a lot of articles if you want to learn more about numerology, and so much more. That is at FeliciaBender.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic month, and I look forward to meeting you back here for your November forecast.